I'm Allie. I came out after 20 years of marriage, and I have 3 kids.
I'm Melissa, and I have 2 kids, and I came out at 37 after an 11-year marriage.
This podcast is about coming out later and the struggles and victories that come with it.
When coming out feels like the end of the world, but it's really just the beginning.
This is the Lesbian Chronicles. I guess we're just going to now no longer
because, I mean, we have an intro that says the name of the show. So it's kind of redundant to then say, welcome to the Lesbian
We don't
Chronicles.
want to insult our listeners by telling them 15 times
15
who
times
we are.
what podcast they're listening to.
Exactly.
Although people do get our voices confused. Like,
how do they get our voices confused?
I don't know, but I will meet people and they'll be like, I thought you were Allie. And I'll be like,
do you know what's really depressing about that for you?
What?
Is because 2 things. One is people tell me I sound like a smoker.
Oh, God.
And I'm not. I've never smoked 1 cigarette. And then the other thing is that you're a professional. So if they're like, you're like a professional and I'm like just phoning it in.
Maybe I think
and
what
I
it
sound
is,
like you?
is like maybe they see our pictures and they think that you're me. And maybe that's it.
Okay.
My
you
voice
look like
goes
the
better.
Smoker.
I look like the smoker. You look more professional.
Very good. Very good.
So,
okay.
Anyway,
safe.
We are joined today by my friend Dariella, who is also one of my girlfriend, Marina's best friends, or actually the go-to best friend.
Yes.
So
I've heard so much about you, Dariella. Yeah, I've heard a lot I'm sure you've heard a lot about me as well.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
I think that's not the first thing I tell people when I meet them. Like, let me tell you about my friend Allie.
Let me tell you about my friend Allie. I am so impressed with what you've done.
Oh,
yes.
Thank you.
Like, I always say, I just said this to a friend of mine today who's starting a business. If you build it, they will come. Mm-hmm. And you did exactly that. And to me, it's badass because you can look like a real idiot quickly when you put yourself out there in that way and people don't show up or people don't. They're not into it.
Yeah.
And clearly they're into it.
Yes. So yeah, let's clarify here. Dari is one of the creators of Second Friday in
I wanted
Atlanta.
to build people's anticipation.
I was going to say, everybody's like, what does she do?
Yeah. Or do the drum roll.
Right, drum roll, please.
Yes.
Was that a drum roll or a
exactly.
But yeah, you and Catherine created Second Friday, which I think Catherine took the idea initially from Denver. And brought it here. But you talk about like kind of that initial conversation that happened around like starting it.
It was so odd because I just met Catherine that night. It was Pride weekend 2 years ago. And
this was the night that I met Marina too.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my God. Happened? Okay. That was like a magical night.
Right? Yes, a lot of things happened that day.
Yeah.
So she came to me, we just met, and then she was like, so where should we go out tonight? I'm like, I don't know. And she started telling me about this Second Friday in Denver. And then she was like, we should do something like that here. I'm like, okay, what do we need? Like a DJ, a venue, and people? And she's like, yeah, pretty much. I'm like, all right, cool. I think I got all of that. And then she's like, okay, she was drunk. She doesn't even remember the conversation.
Great ideas come about when you're drunk.
So true, because you have no inhibitions.
Yes, and then the next day I text her. I'm like, okay, I got the venue, I got the DJ, and we just hope for the people to show up. And she's like, wait, what? What are you talking about? And then
she's like, I don't remember. Blackout.
Remember? I was playing her, and she's like, oh, so this is for real. We're doing this. I'm like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And we did it. It was at Christmas time. It was December, and the first one that came.
How long ago are we talking?
This was like
a year
and a half ago.
A year and a few months ago.
So not even that long ago.
No. So I knew the owner of Argosy, the restaurant in
Love Argosy.
Yeah, and then they have a little cute like speakeasy in the
back. I know all about the speakeasy.
So I reached out to him. I'm like, hey, can we use that space? And he's like, perfect, because I need somebody to rent that space and make me money because after COVID, like I haven't been able to use that space. So I'm like, okay, great. So we brought the party and like 120 people show up.
120 people right out the gate?
Isn't that insane?
The first night I was like, wow. Like I didn't expect that many people, but it was beautiful. It was amazing.
Wait a minute. Whoa. 120 lesbians.
Yes.
This is unbelievable.
Dude, the one that they did last month, would you say it had 550?
580 all total together.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. In Atlanta.
So, that's
all
insane.
in one place.
No fights.
No fights.
No drama. Woo.
Wait a minute. So then was Argosy like, you got to do this all the time?
Yeah, they were super happy. The sales were amazing. And then the second party was like 150, but like their capacity was only like 75.
Oh, boy.
So we were growing too much and fast. And then he was like, we can't do it here anymore. So we started looking for other venues. And we found Georgia Beer Garden, which is beautiful because you have like a space outside and inside. So we did some parties in there, but like every time it rained, it was kind of hard because we have to like bring everybody in, and it was too small.
Yeah.
So
and no real good dance floor either.
No, not a good dance floor, but it had an amazing patio where people love to go back there and start like, you know, socializing and mingling. And then we grew that up. So we went to Future Underground, but people were not too happy. Not about the club, but like the
location.
The location. Like,
okay.
For those of listeners that aren't from Atlanta, but Underground Atlanta's been there for, 40 years? Something like that. And at one time, it was like a cool place to go. It was like this underground mall, and it was really neat. And now it is just like not. And that night going into Second Friday, it was like nothing but like these like teenage goth kids hanging out outside. It was like the most random, like, I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting like some kind of dangerous crowd around that part of Atlanta. Right. And then it's like literally teenage goth kids. But I'm also like, they're terrifying too. Like, they're going to make fun of me.
I was going to say, I don't know. They're not
They're going to bully me on my way to Second Friday.
They might bully you.
So I was not a fan of Future, but
but Dariella, like, how does it work as far as like you pay the DJ, you pay the, what is your you put it on social media? Like, I guess I'm trying to think if somebody wanted to do this in their city, what's the hard part? Like
knowing the people,
knowing the people to get to show up, because if it's not, no one's coming, it's not very fun.
And knowing DJs too, so you can reach out to them. And like the venues is hard too. Like a lot of people ask for so much money. Like I wanted it to really do like a pool party over the summer, and they were asking for like $10,000.
Oh wow!
Like, what?
Yeah, no.
So
we're not trying to do
little
that.
things like that is hard. But the beautiful thing about this is like a few months ago, these girls from Athens came to one of Second Fridays, and they totally love the idea, the concept. They went back to Athens and they wrote us in private, and they were asking us about how we did it. What steps do we take? So we kind of told them, and now they're doing it in Athens.
Very cool.
That's amazing.
Tonight is gonna be their second party, and it's like being sold out. So I feel like cities around United States need something like
maybe
this.
you need to franchise it,
right?
I'm selling this idea.
This sounds like a franchise to me.
Forget about traveling the world. I'm just gonna travel United States and throw lesbians parties
and set these up. Exactly.
There we go. I love it.
I do love it too. Actually, it sounds like a show.
It
like
does.
This could be a reality show.
Yeah, like follow you around.
Yeah,
you throw all these lesbian parties.
Yeah,
you guys gonna be the groupies.
100%. I'll be right there.
Get RVs and follow me.
I feel like me and Marina already are, because we're always showing up to Second Friday.
That's true.
I know you guys do go every time.
Yeah.
That's
like there's been a handful that we haven't gone to, but
I know I missed you guys when you guys don't go.
It's kind of, I mean, I'm the one pushing. Like, I like it. Like, it's fun. It's like,
you're such a social person.
And it's so much better than, and like, not to dog on like MSR or the other gay bars in town, but it's kind of like you go in there and after a while you know so many people.
Yeah.
It is just kind of like you're walking around with a group of friends.
Yes.
So that
like
part's
Pride.
really cool. Yeah, it is like Pride, like once a month going to
yeah.
Pride. So that part is really cool. And you don't have to like risk like, you know, like we said when we were first coming out, like trying to find a place to go and meet people. Like we tried to go to a gay bar and we're like, you know, going at like 9:00 at night at the appropriate hour that people of our age
She's
would go.
trying to make us sound cool. It was 7:30.
And it was like dead. Like no one's in there, you know?
And we couldn't believe it.
Or you go to like 10 and it's like a sea of men, you know?
Yeah.
And we constantly hear from people, not just here in Atlanta, but all around the world that are just like, how do we meet people? Yeah. There's just not a designated like good spot.
Yeah.
No, and the other ones are like the apps, but the apps are so superficial and fakey.
Yeah.
And like that's not the way to go, I don't think.
Right. And I love a good dance. Like if there's good music, I'm in.
And then if you meet somebody and then you hit it off and then you take her to the dance floor. For me, dancing is very important. So
Yeah.
if I take her to the dance floor and she can't dance, that's not for me.
That's a good test.
Don't take Melissa to the dance floor.
Oh, come on.
Don't
Me
take
and
Melissa
Dari
to the
have
dance
danced
floor.
very well together. Thank you. Right,
80s.
Dari, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
She looks sexy.
Then I gotta show you a video I have.
Oh, no, we don't.
We might challenge that belief.
Oh, my God. There was a video of me posted on Second Friday dancing. Like,
I'm sure you're great.
I'm sure.
We look good.
Dariella, where are you from?
Venezuela.
Okay. What's the gay culture in Venezuela?
When I used to live there, I moved here 25 years ago.
Okay.
So when I was living there, it was very close-minded. There was like no clubs for us to go. That's why I didn't come out until later on, because there's no way I could come out when I was in Venezuela, because I was like 16.
Okay.
So I was like, I can't. It's illegal. It's not right. It's against religion. All of that stuff. So now I went 5 years ago, and now they have clubs that are gay, and I see people like holding hands in the streets, and it was very touchy and very amazing to see, because I was like, gosh, I wish I would have experienced that when I was living there, but I didn't. I came out when I was here, because over here is more open and all of that stuff. So
How old were you when you came out?
in college, so I was like 18.
Okay.
18, yeah.
That's pretty young.
Yeah, that is.
really.
But I mean, I guess I'm curious. Like, did you, when you were living in Venezuela and like a kid, like, did you know that you were gay and you were just like, don't think that way?
No, yes, but like I would be fighting it against myself, because I was like, like we come from a culture of religions, and that is a sin, and it's bad.
Yeah.
So it's like every time I would have a thought of like, oh, that girl is cute or whatever, I will stop.
Push it
and
down.
Like I will push it down. But I remember when we used to play like spin the bottle in the neighborhood, I was like, please just let it land on a girl. Please.
Please, Jesus. Sign of the cross.
Yeah, come on, Jesus.
And I don't,
Jesus, throw me a bone.
and I don't even know why, because it would land on a girl and I could not kiss her. But I got those little butterflies and that little excitement. I'm like, oh, so excited.
Right.
But I could not kiss her. So I was like, But yeah.
But 18 is still pretty young. I mean, that's still, like, to me, a hard time in a girl's life of change and transition. You're growing up. So to come out at that time is still, I think, really great.
Yeah, and then I just moved to United States. I only have like 2 years here, so I was like transitioning culture-wise, like not having my family around, meeting new people, and then coming out. There were so many changes at that point for me.
Were you in Georgia?
I was in Louisiana.
Louisiana,
Yeah,
okay.
so I went to college in Louisiana, and I remember when, and in college too, I used to play tennis for college. So the team was all South American girls too. So it was harder for me because South American people have more close-minded about gays. So it was hard for me to talk to them about it.
Yeah.
So there was this one girl that was a friend of the whole group, and one day she didn't come out to us like, oh, I'm gay, but she was like, I want to go to a gay club just to experience it. And my ears just went, whoop.
Yeah, like, me too.
Sign me up.
Me too.
I'm like, wait, what? And I didn't say anything, but then she was like, does anybody wants to come with me? I'm like, oh my God, I was dying inside. I'm like, yes, me. But I was around my other friends, so I didn't want to be like desperate.
Yeah.
But I'm always kind, and I always try to make people feel comfortable and welcome and be sweet to them. So I was like, okay, Nicole, I don't want you to go by yourself. So
Yeah,
Just got to do a favor.
Yeah, I was doing her a
Do a
favor.
favor.
And she's like, would you really? I'm like, yeah, I'll go with you. I was like, but I'm going to be scared. That's what I told her. I'm going to be scared. I've never been to this kind of place. I don't know what I'm stepping myself into, but let's go. And then I remember when I went, it was a life change.
And then did your friend, was she like, geez, you really are an ally.
Right?
You're really diving into this.
Yeah.
What did she say?
No, she was super excited to be there with me. It was her first time too.
And then are you guys like coming out to each other?
I was going to say, was she gay, or she just wanted to go hang out at the gay club?
We both were like on the same...
Questioning.
yeah, like we just got there, and of course I was just like happy in my happy place. I was like, the guys are not approaching me and trying to kiss me and ask me to go dance, like gross, like but instead I have all these girls looking at me. I'm like, oh my God. And of course I was nervous because it was my first time like girls really paying attention to me. So I just like, ugh. But then the music and everybody's just being so happy and in their bubble, nobody's like messing with anybody. I was like, wow, great. And then we left, and I was like, when is this party?
Yeah, when can we come back?
When do we go back tonight? Go back again? Are they open at 7 a.m.?
But if somebody would have told you that girl at what you'd be doing now with Second Friday, that probably would have blown your mind.
Oh, gosh, yes, big time. Big
Yeah.
time.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah, to see me from there and now to having one of those parties.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. Yeah.
Right. How old were you when you had your first serious relationship with a woman?
When I graduated from college, so I was like 20.
Okay.
Yeah. And I had a few little girls, but I was so scared because mind you, when I was in Venezuela, I'd never have boyfriends either. So I was virgin all around it.
Yeah.
Girls, boys, everything. So when I come to college and then, like I have few little girlfriends, but I was so scared to go and be intimate with them because I didn't know what to do. I was young, and I was like, ooh, a girl. I remember this first girl that I had, oh my God, I made her suffer so much. She told me that she was kind of like a sex addict, and she loved sex with women, and I'm like freaking out because I never have sex with women. So I'm like, wow.
Like, oh, God.
And then she's like, she tried so hard, different ways, and I just couldn't get myself to it. Like I would paralyze and panic. And one time I remember she came and she was laying down next to me, and she was like, so I shave for you. And I'm like, oh, cool. And then she's like, don't you want to touch?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, oh, my God, I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
I froze. And I'm like, my hand was shaking, and she grabbed my hand and put it on her stuff.
Oh, my God.
And I just kind of just touched it, and that was it. I could not do anything.
For anyone looking for any moves to pull, Dari's offering tips.
It's reminding me of the guest we had that was like, I didn't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah.
I literally
What do I
don't know what to do.
And that poor girl, I probably gave her so many blue titties. But,
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry.
How long did that last?
Oh, not too long. Few months, I was like, I can't do this. Like, I don't know how. And she like, it's okay. But then we ended it.
Oh, man.
At what point did you like fully come out and like tell like your mom, your family?
So my first serious girlfriend, I met in Louisiana like a week before I was about to move to Atlanta. So it was like a long distance relationship. We lasted for like a year, and I used to go see her like once every other week. And at the end of the relationship, I find out that she cheated on me several times. So I was like, heartbroken, destroyed. I never have anything like that happen to me before. And I never told my family that I had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then one time I remember I was in Atlanta already. My mom called me, and then I'm like crying hysterically. And when I saw my mom calling, I was like, I need her. Like, I need her advice. I need her to comfort me.
Right.
So I answered the phone, and I was just like bawling, crying.
Yeah.
And then she's like, what's going on? I'm like, nothing. I could not tell her. And she tried and tried and tried. And she's like, if you don't tell me, I'm going to get on the next plane, and I'm going to go and see what's going on. I'm like, I'm freaking out. So I'm like, okay. I'm trying to tell you, Mom. I'm trying. She's like, okay, let me help you out. Are you pregnant? I'm like, oh.
Far from it.
Way worse.
So, of course, that made it worse, and that made it harder. So I'm like, oh, I'm screwed. And then she's like, are you getting deported? I'm like, no. I'm like, are you?
What did you do?
I'm like, are you into drugs? I'm like, no. And I'm like, and she told me every possible thing but that. So I'm like, oh my God, she made it way harder.
Wow.
And when I finally have the guts to tell her, then she was like, tell me anything but that.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say she would say that's not a big deal.
No, she told me, tell me anything.
Like there's a reason why she wasn't naming that.
Yeah.
Like on the list.
Well, do you think she knew?
No.
I mean, what's crazy about that is, like, I think about my Catholic, very religious, very conservative family. And same thing. I was bawling. My mom was like, what is it? What is it? And guessing all these things. And then finally I said it. And my mom was like, oh, thank God. And she's like, I thought you were going to tell me you had cancer. Like, I'm so relieved.
Okay.
I'm so
same
relieved.
thing my best friend said.
Yeah, that this is it. Like,
cancer.
she's like, that's okay. And I was like, remember thinking, like, what? Like, I underestimated them so massively.
Yeah. Well, it's like because we're coming from Venezuela and like South America have such strong
It must be even stronger than mine. My mom, like, prays the
that's
rosary every day.
Catholic there, right?
Are you
Venezuela?
Catholic?
No. Well, my mom was Catholic and now she's a Christian. Like, she have come a long way, but still, you know, if it was her choice, she will make me different.
Has she accepted it now?
She said she has, and like, she has met a lot of my exes, and she's super nice and sweet to them. She's super nice to all of my friends. She loves gay people, but she just, for her, in her mind, is more like, you're committing a sin and you're going to go to hell.
Yeah.
And I want to protect you from going there.
Yeah,
so I keep telling her, like, Mom, okay, if I go there, I'm going to be dead. What matters? Like, it doesn't matter. I don't want you to make me live in hell right now in life with no accepting me and no being supportive of who I am.
Yeah.
So we have had plenty of conversations, so many, and she has come a long way, but, like, I know deep inside, she wish it was.
She's worried for your soul.
For my soul, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Do you have siblings?
I do, yeah. I have 3 sisters. So after that, I brought one of my exes to their home. They used to live in Orlando. And when they all love her, she was very outgoing, very friendly, sweet to them, very, like, touchy feeling, and they all love her. So it was easier for me to be like, okay, and then this is my girlfriend.
And this is what gay looks
Right?
like.
Yeah, right?
So once I got to meet her, I'm like, okay, cool. So I start telling them one by one. I was like, okay, I'm going to tell her who I think is more open-minded. So I told my little sister, and she's like, I knew it, la, 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 la. And then I told my other, they're twins, so I told one first. And she's like, oh, wow, like, no, we accept you. We just want you to be happy. And I left the other one last. I don't even know why. But then when I told her, she's like, does anybody knows? I'm like, yeah, they all know. She's like, why are you telling me?
Yeah.
Why are you? I'm sorry. Like, but now they all know. They love me and they love that I am gay. And I have a cousin, 2 cousins that are gay too, so that make it a little easier.
Yeah.
The only one.
Yeah, no, the only black sheep in the family.
Oh my gosh.
I think that there is something about sisters that is like, and brothers, I guess in your case, but like my sister was such a, like, before I told my parents, she would, like, encourage me, just tell them, who gives a shit, Allie? Like, just tell them. And I'm like, I can't. And I'm so scared. And, like, she just was like, look, like, you've got me. And I found out later, she actually said to my mom and dad, like, look, you get on the bandwagon or lose everyone. Because I'm Team Allie, and this is my tribe.
Yeah.
And they were never not going to be on the bandwagon, but it's just like, I don't know. There's some sisters aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
I know, they're so cute.
Yeah. So
Because you came out later on, right?
Yeah, much later. I mean, 20 years of marriage, 3 children. Like, to my mom, that was her son.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it was, like, very traumatic, which is why I think cancer was the only
Cancer was the only answer in the situation.
Exactly.
But that is kind of nice because it's like, oh, I think you're dying. And then it's like, oh, no, you're just gay. So it's like, no, I'm still alive at least, you know? Aren't you happy? I'm going to live. It's just the gay. Oh, God. It is funny, too, because, like, when I was trying to figure everything out, I felt like, you know, on WebMD where you're checking off the symptoms.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, fuck, I got the gay.
Turns out I've got the gay.
Oh, again.
But I like Dariella. I knew along the way. Like, I knew when I was even, like, 9 that I liked girls. Like, I knew at basketball camp that I was into girls.
Oh, my.
So it's not like I would watch movies and wished I was Tom Cruise in Risky Business so I could hang out with Rebecca De Mornay on the train.
You just wanted to slide in the living room with your underwear on.
That too. So I feel like I was always fighting it. But it just never was important enough to me to give up the dream of children and the family.
Yeah.
And
Well, like, what do you think life would have been like had you stayed in Venezuela?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm very like, to me, I'm very much into fairness. And I feel like when I was younger, I was probably gonna be, making sure my family was happy with me. And I was following rules and I didn't commit any sin. But later on with life, I would have figured out I wasn't happy. And then I would have talked to myself and be like, you are living a life that you don't want to live. And at the end of the day, it's your life. So I would have come out sooner or later, but like I would not have lived in the closet for too long, because
it's not who you are.
No, it's not who I am. And like even when I was younger, I was just like, I feel like in Venezuela, every time you see a picture of me, it was weird. I never smile. It was just like a serious picture. And when I came to United States and I was starting to take pictures in high school, saying I was serious. But once I started like, I see girls holding hands or like lesbians, and I came out, I started just smiling. So if I feel like I wasn't being mean, there was something trapped inside of me in Venezuela. And when I came here, I have the freedom to become who I was. So
that's really interesting.
I know. Like to look back and not even notice that you're not until later that you're not, you look unhappy, or maybe not unhappy, but just
different.
Yeah.
No, you.
Inside of
not
yourself.
You. Do you ever feel that way now, though? Like, I even feel like even though I'm on the other side and I'm out and I'm living, my truth, I still have moments of feeling like I'm not, I don't know, like I'm still not there yet. Maybe.
Yes, for sure. And I can tell you why, because I feel like one of the reasons people don't accept us is because we don't accept ourselves.
Yeah.
And I feel deep down my mom is not totally accepting of me because it's maybe because I'm not accepting of myself 100%.
How do you do that?
And I've been working on this a lot, like through therapy and all of that. And it's because I don't want for people to feel ashamed of me or feel that I am less because I am gay. So sometimes I can tell, like when people like introduce themselves, or like when guys come to me and be like, hey, you're cute or whatever, it's hard for me to be like, hey, I'm gay, right? Later, like years later ago, I was like having problems with this. I was like, or like if I would introduce my girlfriend, I would be like, this is my friend, because I was scared still to be like, this is my girlfriend, I'm gay.
You're like internalizing your homophobia, and then it comes out in weird ways.
Yeah, so I feel like that's why my mom wasn't accepting. So I have been doing a lot of like self-growth, therapy and all of that for the last 2 years, and it have helped me be more accepted of who I am. And now when people, I'm introducing myself, if they ask, I tell them I'm gay, or if I'm introducing a girlfriend, I tell them this is my girlfriend and not my friend. So I feel like if I keep doing that, then people around me are just going to accept me.
Yeah, and if they don't, then it's a good filter process.
Yeah. Not for me.
Yeah. I do feel like, though, sometimes you kind of have to, like, gauge where you are, like,
Same.
the setting, can I say this here?
Especially when you're traveling and they're
and Dari travels a ton.
Yeah.
Like, talk a little bit about that. Like, where you,
and then
I
can
feel
we
like
also
you've
talk
been,
about
like,
that?
everywhere.
I just like took your drink, I think.
Oh,
it's yours.
Oh my God.
Thank God. Okay, go ahead.
I just had another interview like before this one about traveling, a podcast on traveling.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a friend of mine. She just started, and it's called I'm Not Your Tourist Guy. It was super cool. So I just had that interview, which was really fun. But yeah, I love traveling. Since I was little, it was being one of my dreams. It's my passion. So everything I do it with that context in mind. Like, okay, I'm going to save money because I'm going to make these travels. But yeah, when you travel, especially when you travel with a girlfriend to places where they're, like being a lesbian is not legal, or it can be like dangerous for you, then you don't talk about it, and then you don't hold hands, and then you try to be respectful to their culture.
Right.
But it's hard, especially, when you travel, it's just like, you have to be paying attention to
Can you work on the road, or do you just take time off? Like, how does it work?
I take time off, I have a cleaning service company, so like I have built it big enough where I have employees, so whenever I want to take few months off or like weeks off, I just let my employees take over. And
Amazing.
then I just,
Yeah.
So I try to like construct my life towards that, because I used to work, like in corporate and work for other people, and having 2 weeks vacations a year was not cutting it for me. So I was like, I need to do something that have more flexibility and more freedom to do what I love to do, which is traveling. So now I'm doing that.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Her and Marina are going to like run away together.
Right. They already do, like on a regular basis. You guys went
to
Mexico
yeah.
for what, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Last
With
year?
Spain,
So, and then Spain
this year,
this
hopefully,
year? Yeah. So
That's
yeah,
amazing.
everywhere. Where else are you planning on going?
No, this year, if the Spain thing goes through, just Spain, because I have to live there for 6 months. It doesn't have to be consecutive 6 months, but in a year, it has to be 6 months. So pretty much I'm going to move there and live there for 5 weeks and then come back here and be 3-4 weeks and then come back there.
And that's to get your dual citizenship.
Yeah, okay. I used to have it, but I lost it. So I'm trying to get it back. So in order for me to get it back, I have to do this.
Dang.
I know, right? Wait a minute.
Feels so bad for you.
I always wanted it to like live in a European country. So it's my time. This is another dream that I'm about to make come true. So every time I go back to Spain, I want to be in a different city. I don't want to be going to the same one. So I have an uncle there. I have family, friends. So I want to make sure, like, every time I go back, I stay with one of them in different cities. And when I'm there, I will travel around Europe. So that will be my trips for this year.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Where's your favorite place you've ever been?
Ooh. I would say... that's the same question this girl asked me earlier. She's like, if you want to tell somebody you must see this place before you leave.
Yeah, tell me.
And I was just telling her, like, it depends of my perspective, right? Like, what I love.
Yeah.
Like, for me, like, I just love yoga, meditation, peace, calmness, lush, green. And for me, all of that is Bali. So Bali is like
I've heard
a must.
that is like amazing.
Yeah. It's a must for me.
We have a friend, Laura, who was just there and posted the pictures, and I'm like, holy shit, this place looks like
It's
looks
magical.
like heaven. It looks like what I picture heaven to look
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
As a Catholic schoolgirl.
As a Catholic schoolgirl.
This is like what I picture. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yes, super sexy too.
One thing I did want to talk a little bit about, since you are single.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
I want to know, like, your take on, like, the dating world. Like, how do you approach it? Since you have been in the game for a while,
Yeah, it's
and
a
a
great
lot of our
question.
listeners are kind of new to this. Like,
Right.
what has been your experience, and, like, what do you find, like, works?
Oof, I guess it comes with age, because when I was younger, I was all about meeting them in the clubs, right? Like, you go out and you see a cute girl in the dance floor, then you take your shot and you approach them and then you introduce yourself. Then later on, I was like, no, that's not working for me. Let me try the apps. So I would do the apps, which I met a lot of people. Few of them were girlfriends, but then few of them became friends, which it was nice too. And nowadays, I don't know, I just love, I guess at my age, I will feel more comfortable meeting people through friends, because your friends know you. They know who you are, what you like. So if I can see, I don't know, Marina coming to me and be like, oh my God, I met a girl and you will love it, I will fully trust that, because Marina knows me. So nowadays, I just rather meeting them organically and not using the apps, not even Second Friday. I feel
Not
like
even
I
Second
was just
Friday.
going to think
No.
that would be like, you're like the boss over there. You can like walk in, like, does the music like
I'm here,
go down?
ladies.
I'm here, ladies.
I feel people looking, yes. I see a lot of
you
girls
see.
looking when I walk in, but I'm like, oh, I don't know. No, not there. I don't know.
But don't you feel like that's where like I feel like that would be such a great place to meet people, because it is all ages. It's all.
But haven't you heard, like, the term, like, don't shit where you eat?
Yeah, but
You
I mean,
know,
this is
like-
everybody.
So,
I mean,
Well, I did met few people in Second Fridays. They came, introduce themselves, and yeah, it was beautiful. What happened after?
it was beautiful what happened after. I know what that means.
No, not like that. It took few weeks, months, but it is a good place, especially when you approach each other in the right way. if you approach each other in the right way, like, hey, my name is such and such, this is me, we talk a little bit, change numbers or Instagram, and then leave it like that, then cool. But if I'm in the dance floor and then I get somebody just kind of
coming on
too strong and like grabbing me and stuff, I'll be like, oh,
gosh.
Women?
I mean, it happens, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
If you get enough alcohol in someone, they're bound to get a little too
or like
feely.
pushy, right? They'll be like, wait, you're single? Okay, you're missing out. It's like boys. They become like boys. They're like, oh, you're missing out on this. And I'm like, oh, that is not sexy. That is not the approach I want. So in that case, I don't want to meet people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
I
like
agree.
any. I'm like anti-drunk. So I also would be, if I see people drunk, it gives me anxiety. So I would
That's
really
how I
hate
feel
that.
when I've gone to Second Friday or gone out like during Pride and been sober.
Yeah.
It is like,
I don't like it at all.
Oh shit, like,
I do
what's
not
going
like
on
it.
here?
If I'm talking to somebody who's starting to slur, I'm
Yeah.
sure I've been that person before. So, but if I see it happening, I do not like it.
No,
like it literally,
exactly.
I have a visceral,
She's very
visceral
judgy.
reaction. I'm not judging. I'm just inside thinking you're scaring me right now. Do you have a safe ride home?
Right, that
Do you need a
too.
safe word?
The mom comes out. You're like, we need to get you a bottle of water.
I know.
Sweetie.
Do you need water? What did you have to eat?
When did you eat?
I don't like it, and I don't want to be responsible for it.
I don't
And then
want to be responsible. That's for sure.
And then I start
Like, for
thinking
them,
about,
I
like,
mean.
did they take pills, which sets me, like, over
Oh,
the
my
edge
God.
of, like,
Yeah.
scary. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want
People
it.
who
I don't.
look like they're obviously fucked up.
Yeah,
on
they look like
something.
it's beyond drinking at this
Yeah.
point. That gives me, like, insane anxiety. I'm starting to think I'm a huge prude.
No,
Just bottom
I
line
feel
what
the
it
same
is.
way. Like 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want anything to do with pills,
No.
cocaine. Like
if
none
your
of that.
eyes
Like,
look
I am
weird,
get the
like
fuck
maybe
away
you've
from
been
me.
into something in the bathroom.
While you're
whenever I
watching
know
your
that something
drink.
like that is
exactly. I'm covering my drink.
Like if I know that something like that is present, like
Yeah.
drugs of some sort, I am like, my mind is going to like, there's gonna be a drug bust.
Narcos.
They're gonna, the
Narcos.
police are gonna, APD's
Where's
is
the-
gonna bust in here at any moment,
it.
and I'm gonna be like,
Exactly.
guilty by association.
Right.
Mom from Peachtree
Yes.
City is arrested in
Exactly.
massive drug bust at Blake's Midtown.
Exactly. That's what I'm
I
saying.
cannot live this way.
No, I hate it so much. I can't stand it. And if somebody falls, that's like
falls down?
Yeah,
Yes.
because that happens.
That does happen.
There's always like one faller.
That happened
Yeah.
to me. No, not to me. Like not like I fell. Like
Yeah.
someone was talking to me.
And they fell.
I won't go into more details, but they were mad at me and they fell down.
What?
She was so drunk. Yes.
While they were mad at you?
Yes.
That's terrible.
And then I helped
You
her
didn't
up
have to
because
do
I'm
anything.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like it.
It was very weird.
The
I'll tell you the
worst-
story off air, more
Yeah.
detailed. But
I've been really one time that Maria remembers that I was like really bad, and she's never seen me this way. So she was like, I was like, what the hell? But I was with you, and we were at in the
Guilty.
basement in
East
Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, by the time we were leaving, I literally like you were starting to like worry me.
Oh, no.
Because she's just never seen me like that.
Did you fall down?
No, I did not fall down. I would not. I can't. If that happens, take me to the hospital.
I fell down a few weeks ago. I'm ready to tell this story now. I was
What?
not drunk though. I was
okay,
not
good.
drunk. Let me say
Jeez.
that. I had like, I think 1 or 2 beers. But it was in Colorado, and like it was cold, and we were like running back to the condo, and I tripped up the steps. And this is what always I trip up the steps a lot. This has been an issue my whole life.
No down.
Up, yes.
Oh.
Like my foot will
Okay.
catch.
yeah, you fell up.
I fell up, but I fell in fucking slow motion. Like, I don't know if it's the CrossFit that's paying off, but I literally like fell and I saw my phone like fall out of my pocket, but I was like, don't grab your phone. You got to brace yourself.
Yeah.
And I like fell into like a reverse burpee.
What?
Like I fell in like the most gentle, quiet way possible.
hilarious.
That Marina didn't even realize that I fell until she heard me laughing.
Oh,
And I
my
was
God.
still like laying there in my like burpee
You
plank
mean you
position.
didn't like pop up like it never happened?
I mean, I was trying to, but I was laughing too
Yeah.
hard.
Oh my God.
And she turns around, she's like, "What just
What
happened?"
happened? You're like, I fell.
down.
Were you drinking? No.
No, I had like 1 or 2 beers before that.
So,
like,
yes.
at dinner. No,
So
that's
yeah,
not, like,
you were
drunk.
drinking.
No, that's not time for it.
It was also icy outside. I don't know. But another story about me falling up the steps. was when I was 3 years old, and I fell up the steps and I bit my tongue in half. Yes.
Gross.
I'm surprised I've never told this story on the
What?
podcast. Yes, it was like
Oh wait,
so
was this the one
fucking
where your
nuts.
parents didn't take you
Yes,
right to the hospital?
my parents did not take me to the doctor
set
until
up
the
some-
next day. And my
Yeah.
dad, like they literally saw like I was bleeding.
They
whatever.
saw my tongue was
They
gone.
saw that things were mangled.
Now I'm like looking at
Gave
your
me.
tongue.
It's fine now. It's Marina can attest.
Okay.
Boy.
And they gave me a popsicle and put me to bed. And then the next morning, I got up. My dad looked at my tongue and said that, like, to this day, it's one of the worst things he's ever seen with his own eyeballs. And this man, like, went to Korea for Vietnam.
God.
So, yeah.
Did they
They
feel
took
so
me to
bad?
the doctor, and the doctor was like, it's too late for stitches. So we'll just hope that it heals on its own. But they were, like, literally worried that I wouldn't be able to, like, speak because of it. Because it was, like... I was like 3 years old, so I'm at that stage where I'm like learning how to speak.
Oh my God, I bet your parents felt like total shit.
I mean, I was the third kid.
Yeah, nothing happens
okay.
for the third.
The-
I know,
the
it's so
third
true.
kid-
I have 3, so trust me, I know. He
the
gets
third
0.
one's just kinda,
I'm like, you're okay. You're totally fine.
I escaped from the house on more than one occasion, unnoticed.
Did you die?
But did I die?
Exactly.
No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I know that took a turn, but anyway. How did we get on full?
How did we get on tongues bitings?
Split in half. So yeah, anyway, Second Friday, if you want to share the Instagram handle so that people want the tips and the ins and outs, how can they find you guys?
Okay, so we have an Instagram page, and it's Second Friday ATL. And then we right now our venues have been on Monday Night Garage and Monday Night Brewery. So people get confused.
2 separate locations.
Yeah, 2 separate locations, but then people get confused because it's called Monday Night Garage, and our parties is Second Friday. So they're like, wait, so is the party on Monday or Friday?
Oh, God.
So I'm like, great. So it is the second Friday of each month, and they can just follow us on Instagram, and then we'll post there who's going to be the DJ, who's going to be, where it's going to be, what's the charge to get in. All the information is in there.
Well, this has been amazing. You're just as good as I thought you'd be.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming on and for coming all the way to Decatur.
Right?
No, you're
All the way from Inman Park.
Yeah, it's okay. You're welcome.
Yeah, you're not actually. Yeah, you're not too far, are you?
No, I'm in Freedom Parkway, so it
Okay,
wasn't
yeah,
too bad.
yeah, that's not bad.
Well, cool.
All right, very well. Well, have a good weekend, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Want to support the Lesbian Chronicles podcast? Rate us and write a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
We love listener feedback. If you'd like to share your story, email us at melissaandallie@gmail.com. That's Melissa, MELISA, and Allie, ALLI, @gmail.com. Or follow us on Instagram at Lesbian Chronicles.